I'm Bobby Cole, and I'm campaigning for governor of Texas. Progress Texas, they're progressive, and they share a lot of my same values and my positions on issues. I listen every day.
It's Wednesday, February 11th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Endorsements continue to emerge from the Progress Texas board. We're starting with another new one this morning. As we said on Monday, let me note first that all of us at Progress Texas salute the sacrifice and effort made by everyone who takes on running for office in pursuit of progressive goals in the state of Texas. That is a hard row to hoe, and our hats are off. For today, our board has chosen to highlight for his qualifications, potential to win, and also to excel once elected in the race for Houston's 18th congressional district. Our board endorses freshly elected Congressman Christian Menefee as an exemplary representative of the next generation of progressive leaders. Menefee and his supporters in his district have not only restored the criminally long absent voice of CD-18 in Washington, but they have sent a shot of generational energy into the U.S. House that we find very well timed. As you may know, incumbent and hero of decades, Congressman Al Green, is in this race as well, having been drawn into CD-18 from the 9th Congressional District in the recent Trump-ordered and Greg Abbott-delivered racist carving up of the Houston area. While we deeply respect and salute Congressman Green, our board finds the energy of Christian Menefee to be better suited for the fight that lies ahead and has chosen him for their endorsement. Houston native and defense and national security expert Gretchen Brown is also running in CD-18, while Rep. Menefee's special election runoff opponent Amanda Edwards has recently dropped out of the primary for the next full term. We've all heard stories about Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare kicking citizens out of that commissioner's court meetings who dare to say things that offend his sensibilities, and he was at it again last night, kicking 2 Tarrant locals out for questioning that county's sheriff's office over their zealous interest in partnering with ICE. O'Hare pounding his gavel to once again silence Commissioner Elisa Simmons' objections to his conduct. Simmons, as you know, is running to replace O'Hare as county judge. Video from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram is linked in the show notes this morning. It would appear that O'Hare may be failing to read the proverbial tea leaves, as Phil Prazen at NBC DFW Channel 5 says. Further analysis of that earth-shattering win by Democrat Taylor Ramett in Tarrant's longtime red 9th State Senate District was largely the result of a massive leftward swing by the district's Hispanic voters, who make up 29% of that district and voted blue by nearly 80%, a 26-point swing from 2024 when they swung right for Trump. Notably, the special election swing was 24 points stronger than the 2024 Trump swing in SD9. Jason Villalba from the Texas Hispanic Policy Foundation says, quote, "I think 15 to 20 years ago, people spoke about Hispanics as the sleeping giant. There's no question that the sleeping giant is now awake and is actually the deciding vote," unquote. Much like Tim O'Hare, it would appear that much of the rest of the Republican rank and file are slow to realize that sicking thousands of masked ICE goons on Latino populations across the country with orders to kick down doors and an apparent license to kill might have been a poor PR decision. Jeremy Wallace at the Houston Chronicle noting that both San Antonio Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez and his colleague Congressman Michael McCall of Austin in recent congressional hearings have tried to have it both ways. Gonzalez emphasizing safety for ICE officers from the public they're now terrorizing via more bulletproof glass on their already militarized vehicles. But as a side note, he thinks body cameras might be a good idea. Meanwhile, McCall characterizes the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy as collateral damage in ICE's efforts to, quote, remove a public safety threat from the United States of America, unquote. And how ironic is that? While McCall also criticizes the Nazi cosplay of Greg Bovino in Minneapolis, the aforementioned Congressman Al Green, a lot more decisive in his remarks at that hearing of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, Rep. Green's, quote, "I say lock her up," unquote. Also related in the Congress, Rudy Koski at Fox 7 in Austin says Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia of Houston has filed legislation to allow local authorities more flexibility in how immigration laws are enforced in their communities by repealing a key section of the Immigration Act that gives the federal government authority to mandate to U.S. cities what to do on immigration. Rep. Garcia saying, quote, "They're threatening our cities, just tearing our country apart, trampling over the Constitution," unquote. Finally, this morning, the weirdness going down out west that's developing even as I read this. Robert Moore at El Paso Matters reported late yesterday the Trump Federal Aviation Administration's sudden, unilateral, and unexplained lockdown of the airspace over El Paso and a nearby section of southern New Mexico, effective for 10 days until February 20th. The notice citing what the FAA calls special security reasons, and including a threat to shoot down any aircraft that might violate this new no-fly zone, including all commercial flights in and out of El Paso International Airport, cargo flights, helicopters, including medevac or law enforcement, all with no official reason why. El Paso is the 6th largest city in Texas and the 23rd largest in the nation. Around 4 million travelers traverse that airport annually, the first such airspace shutdown over an American city since 9/11. Highly disruptive, to say the least, and very, very weird. This morning, El Paso Congresswoman Veronica Escobar was posting to her Facebook, quote, "The highly consequential decision by the FAA to shut down the El Paso airport for 10 days is unprecedented and has resulted in significant concern within the community. From what my office and I have been able to gather overnight and early this morning, there is no immediate threat to the community or surrounding areas. There was no advance notice provided to my office, the city of El Paso, or anyone involved in airport operations. We have urged the FAA to immediately lift the temporary flight restrictions placed on the El Paso area. I will continue to make information public as I learn it," unquote. And then just moments later, just before 8 o'clock this morning, a tweet from the FAA, quote, "The temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. There is no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume as normal," unquote, and that's it. This is straight up incompetent goofball management of the safety and well-being of American travelers and commerce, and this tweet from the FAA still offers no explanation, only offering, as Progress Texas Executive Director Kathleen Thompson puts it, quote, "Chaos is the name of their game. Focus is ours. Release the Epstein files. Fight the SAVE Act that targets women voters in November. Invest in our independent and honest media," unquote. Once again, the March primary looms, y'all. Early voting in the primary starts next Tuesday, February 17th. That Tuesday, Progress Texas is going to be celebrating both of those occasions next Tuesday with a treat for our monthly supporters at Shoal Creek Saloon in Austin. More on that's coming up, and if you've thought about becoming a monthly supporter, the time is right now to get in on this. See the show notes for a Texas 2026 March primary ballot form from the Texas Tribune that you can use right now with your home address to see who's voting in the primary in which you choose to vote. Everything you need to be sure your registration is in order can be found at govotexas.org. Houston friends, starting this Friday, our weekly roundtable show In Progress will join the regular weekday schedule on KPFT 90.1 FM. We'll be on at 10 a.m. every Friday morning, in addition to our current slot on Sunday mornings at 11 on KPFT HD2. Huge thanks to our friends at KPFT for the support and the partnership. Our mission at Progress Texas is to improve and save Texans' lives by acting on our shared bold progressive values, and that starts with countering the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine. While we enjoy the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't joined the team yet. If you're a regular, let's get you on board right now, like Danette Mann, Carol Mannon, and John Hill all have. Since the new year, Progress Texas has devoted coverage and advocacy to the issues you're passionate about, and like no other outlet, has given you direct access to the candidates in the biggest races in the country, Texas legislative, statewide, and federal elections. Join us as we work to raise $14,000 this February. Whether you give $35, $100, or $500, any contribution brings us closer to our goal and ensures Progress Texas can advance our Project 2026 plans, which include the expansion of Spanish media and further radio expansion across the Lone Star State. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Wednesday, February 11, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is an independent, nonprofit, rapid response media organization. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a terrific day. We'll see you again right here tomorrow morning.